Man, Chapter 1 is so good. The inn at Kalm, the next morning. System. DLC bonuses. We'll definitely get all this. A bracelet crafted with such an inspiring design that anyone who wears it, no matter how timid, gains the courage to explore the world at large. Has 2 linked and 1 independent materia slots. A choker inspired by the ebb and flow of the life stream. Restores a small amount of HP upon defeating enemies. Oh, that's cool. It reclaims materia. Cool. That's for remake. That's for intermission. A talisman from a Moogle who traveled the world collecting rare curios. Added a fixed chance of increasing your haul when gathering materials. A collection of items featuring potions, bottles of ethers, and other consumables that will prove useful for those traveling the globe. That is helpful, thank you. Now it's time to explore Kalm. Ooh, and we got an ether. Let's go back up to the balcony. Let's see some of our sights. Wow, eh? It's beautiful. There's the Rusty Arrow, the bar that we'll go investigate soon. There's the clock tower. Yeah, you can see a lot from here. But yeah, doesn't this feel like Alexandria from Final Fantasy IX? Especially with all like the upper roofs and the scaffolding. Yeah, I'm very excited to play that game again. I haven't played 9 in a long time. I've only ever finished 9 once. And the one time wasn't even all that memorable, to be completely honest. So I really want to go back through that.
Most recent in a series of crises. Multiple reactor bombings, followed by the fall of the Sector 7 plate, culminating in this unprecedented destruction. Perpetrated by the infamous insurgent group known as Avalanche. The administration also suspects the involvement of Wutai, and has begun investigations into the matter.
So if I were to guess, the Zack segment we played at the beginning of the game is taking place synonymously with the next day after we leave Midgar, right? So that all happens, then we see, which makes sense, it is the morning.
I'm Broden, the owner of this inn.
Nice to meet you,
Your
Broden.
companions have all stepped out. Oh, but Barrett left a message he wanted me to pass along to you. You missed roll call, soldier boy. Luckily, you're on leave for the day. Don't waste it, though. Get your equipment checked ASAP. Sound advice?
No doubt.
Perhaps a trip to the arms dealer is in order?
Good idea.
By the way, Cloud, do you have any folios on you?
Yeah.
In that case, you might also want to pay a visit to Magnata Books. They have stores all over, but the first official one was built here in Kalm. And their resident scholars are remarkably talented. If you want to unlock the true potential of your folios, you should go see them.
I think I've also said this before about the game. But I really thought it was interesting how they took the idea of folios in the first one, which were specific books written, which in some way resonated skill points to the player. Now these folios, it's like we take all those books, the 8, 9, or 10 or whatever, we put them together, right? And now we're starting to make connections between the folios or something. I don't know. It's cool. Like, it feels like they're taking the existing system and adding to it in a cool way. Although I don't really understand the mechanics of it.
Day yesterday, huh?
I wonder if the way that they expand the folios in the next game is if Cloud could unlock certain nodes or certain skills on, let's say, Barrett's thing that would assist him. I don't know how that would work. Probably just on the stat increase ones or something, but...
For me? I've been waiting for a chance to thank you properly.
Nah, buddy, you don't need to.
Without your help, I'd still be in Hojo's clutches, trapped in that lab. Was nothing. Even so, I owe you a debt. Until it's paid.
I love the party level system. I thought that was really cool.
Weirdos whispering sweet nothings to the Mako tank again. Can't he see the pipes have got it going on? The way they glisten in the sunlight.
Okay. Nice purple scarf, sir. I like your scarf a lot. Do, do, do.
We're gonna play hide and tickle today.
Hide and tickle. Oh, rat race? Oh, that means... Okay, that's actually so cool. That tells me that this whole Alexandria vibe is intentional. That's really cool. And especially if rumors of a Final Fantasy IX remake are true, which I'm really hoping they are, it would make sense that the development teams touched base and that they started to model this off of the Alexandria vibe. This small theater vibe. I bet you he's in Wall Market. I feel like he's in that one bar that we go to with the digestive and the dress shop lady. Or man. It's so hard to describe what they're doing in the music, but that do 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 feels almost... I don't know how to describe it, but it fits the opening of this journey, the opening up of the exploration. It fits it so well.
Ooh, looky here. I'd say we got ourselves a contender. So
Yeah, we do.
You want to throw down? Now she ain't much of a talker, but give her a deck of cards and she'll wipe the floor with you so fast it'll make your head spin. Ready to get your ass handed to ya? Well, are ya?
Sure. Perfect. These are good cards. Nice. Now let's see what we could do with that. Yeah, that'll be good. That's fine. If I place Levercron there, that cuts him off on the top and bottom row. Right? Do 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 ba 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 ba. Okay, so that will for sure win. I don't think I have anything nearly powerful enough to win this slot, so that's okay. We still won. Nice. Cactuar. Cactuar is like a better version of Levercron.
One hell of a punch. But hey, you can't win them all. Besides, what really matters is you were brave enough to take on a bona fide card shark like Pretty Boy here. Sometimes you gotta take the L if you're serious about upping your game. Listen, kid, you got what it takes to be a champ. I'd bet my bottom gill on it. Now why don't you show Blondie your appreciation for being such a good sport? Thank you for playing cards with me, mister.
That's a very well-mannered demon. It's a very well-mannered demon. Kids these days, they get possessed so fast.
I want to play, but what if I lose?
Oh, don't worry, Ned. You
What do
will.
want? Don't scare me like that. You don't want to play Queen's Blood, do you? I was hoping that... Oh, what am I thinking? You look like you'd murder me.
So let's strengthen this row. Yeah. That was the correct choice. What? You're really gonna do that to yourself, sir? Okay, so I have to beat 8. Okay, we won. That's good. Yeah, that's the end. There's no more possible cards for either of us. So pass. Awesome.
Oh God, I lost. But I feel a lot better after having a good cry.
Good for you, Ned.
Like a game of Queen's Blood to relieve some stress.
True that.
Speaking of, you look like you've got a lot weighing you down too. It's written all over your face. Trust me, crying does wonders. You really ought to try it.
A puppet, a crybaby. Interesting story choices. Ooh, climbing up the ladder. Ooh, ooh. Gotta find the treasure. Sad but true.
Said it all day.
And of course, the walls.
Excuse me. That was my barricade you just destroyed. Oh,
My apologies.
don't you admire the Bailey? It is something. Or maybe you're here to get your ass handed to you in a QB match. I'm Zahira. A pleasure. Just like Kalm's wall, I yield to no one, refusing to give a single inch to my opponents. Don't presume you'll emerge unscathed if you decide to go up against me. Because you will wind up with more than just a few bruises.
Okay, lady. Let's do this, Sakura. Yeah, let's not give undue enhancements. Darn it! Would you stop that? You completely wrecked my whole strategy. No way, dude. That's very rude of you. I think it's just gotta be that one. Now, I'm probably gonna lose that middle line. Yeah, we lost. That sucks. That one went terrible. Yeah, let's do that. Let's build this way. Let's block them off. I think it's more important for me to get the enhancement than it is to block him off on the middle row. Yeah, that was a wise choice. Good. And that locks the board. He's done. That's fantastic. Let's see what we can do. Okay, let's start boosting our babies. Perfect. Yeah, we'll do that, because then we can utilize these to get out some of our big boys. We'll get an alpha dunk up there. And we will end with a sweeper. Just like we swept you. But don't worry, because you swept me first. It was a good match, Sakura. A really good match. It is so satisfying creaming them, though. Like, when it's like 33-0, it's like, yeah, that felt good.
Impossible. How could someone break through my perfect defense? Who are you? Deep down, I always knew. I knew I couldn't stay holed up in here forever. Walls can keep people safe, but even the sturdiest ones eventually crumble. Right. Starting today, you will be my new wall, as it were. And I am going to enjoy watching you crumble.
Okay. I need to talk spoilers about the rest of Rebirth, and at least for a moment. So, my theory is that Queen's Blood is an analysis of Cloud as a character. I could be wrong on this. As I said, I didn't go very far into the Queen's Blood minigame. However, these first three all seem to very clearly be hinting at hidden parts of Cloud's personality. Crybaby Ned is Crybaby Ned is the insecure Cloud inside of Cloud, right? The one that Cloud deemed to be so atrocious that he walled himself off in a barricade until someone broke through the barricade and was able to get to him. Now the barricade's cleared away. But what happens is we also meet a little girl who is controlled, it seems, by a puppet. Or at least the puppet is the one that we're facing. So it's like this it's this puppet metaphor, which is what Cloud is described as by Sephiroth at the very, very end of the game. You are nothing but a puppet.
Wanna climb the clock tower together?
Mm-hmm. Sure, let's.
Sure, let's.
For real? Awesome! Since it was my idea, I'll go get the tickets.
Thanks,
I'll meet you in
Aerith.
front of the tower, okay?
See you soon.
The first Magnata books.
Her voice, her lip sync is incredibly good. I wonder who that painting is. Or, sorry, sculpture is of.
Hey there! Welcome to Magnata Books. Oh, I take it this is your first visit to one of our stores.
Okay, so actually it's really interesting too, because like the linkage of the clothing he's wearing links him to the religion of planetology. And planetology seeks to be the legitimate successor of the Cetra, right? Or of the Cetra's teachings. The books that we received, therefore, would be hidden ancient knowledge, you could say, or just ancient knowledge. Like Cetra knowledge, should I say. Knowledge of the ancients. And now, it's their successors, their legacy, which is carrying on, handing us to the end.
Morning.
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 Everyone's kinda off doing their own thing.
I noticed.
Say, this tank remind you of anything?
Yeah. Place I made that promise to you.
You remember the dress I wore? It was one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
The light blue one? With a bit of green in there?
Yeah.
Aww.
You're here, check out what we got to offer.
Sure. Although, do not buy this sleek saber. Don't do it. It's a waste of money. However, it's not a terrible idea to buy that. Either of those, actually. I really don't like this song. This song just sounds like chaos to me. It's not good. It has no beat. I kind of hate it every time I hear it. Was that Vanille? She looks a lot like Vanille. Kind of.
Funny, isn't it? How small it looks?
It is far away.
So, did something happen between you and Tifa? I would have given anything to have a friend when I was growing up. Don't take her for granted.
This also, I think I said this again previously, but this feels a lot like Dirge of Cerberus. Especially since it was Kalm that they invaded at the beginning of Dirge of Cerberus. Luckily, they're not just gunning random people down and sending out hounds into the street.
They're looking for us, aren't they?
Gotta be.
He has such an intense look in his eyes.
There isn't much time. We need to get back to the inn.
But
Don't worry about your friends. They're safe. Trust me.
They did this section so bloody well. There's just so much tension.
Not here. Well,
We'll take the back road.
Hey.
This is actually kind of cool.
I'll keep the troopers on.
I see Avalanche as part of a movement to restore the Republic. And we see this with sort of like Crow's Nest later on. We're going to see this. But there seems to be a lot of push of contacts of Avalanche all over the world which help us, and which through Cloud and the Co are going to be united in a certain ideal in our greatest time of need.
Head to the east. A friend of mine runs a farm out there. He'd be happy to help you. Also,
Thanks, Broden.
take this.
The item transmuter.
It's a transmuter. Converts raw materials into more practical items. A Republic antique, but it still works. You'll get more use out of it than me.
See, that's cool. Because Shinra is like super technologically advanced, but we see from areas of Nibelheim and even in Kalm, that's like the people of this world are not that advanced. They're not super, super advanced technologically. But it seems like the Republic spread technology a lot more than Shinra did. Whereas Shinra very likely quashed this type of technology to boost up their own type of consumerism, in which their products, their potions, their ethers are the ones being sold, and anybody making them off of the world are pushed out, right? This is really interesting music. It feels very hopeful, very adventurous. There's our ragtag crew.
We made it. All in one piece?
All in one piece. You guys okay?
Sorry we're late.
For the love of... Where the hell have you two been?
On a date. Kind of.
What?
Well, that was the last one. At least till things calm down.
Okay. Escape Kalm. Okay. Could have sworn there's like a chest around here, though. This feels very much like the opening of Chapter 2 in Remake, actually. It's kind of funny how they mirror those.
Where to now?
Because there's like...
Where there's a draft. This way.
There's like the initial act...
Looks like a job for me.
This is actually really cool. There's a lot of mirroring going on in these two games. So there's the initial, like, prologue and intro cutscene. Let's turn that down. Ends up in a reactor with a huge boss fight against a sort of scorpion-looking boss. So it's very, very similar in that way. Then we go out of the reactor to find a burning city. This is extraordinarily similar between Sector 8 and Nibelheim, right? Then after that, we're immediately thrust into the exploration of a sort of... oh, no. No, at this point, so the analogy breaks down. There is no freedom in between Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. So the freedom portion they gave you in Kalm's a little strange, but it was the tutorial of how the game acts, so it's not that strange. And then Chapter 2 ends in a sort of air raid tunnel that's super, super confined until you open up into a much more free and open hub area, which was Sector 7 in the first game and is the grasslands in this game. Really, it's brilliant, brilliant storytelling, especially with some of the parallels that they have between Zack at the beginning and Cloud at the end, and just some of the nice, neat symmetry. It's really, really well done. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what we are together about to see is one of the greatest moments in video game history. And in fact, it's one of the greatest introductions to an open world I've ever seen. It beats Breath of the Wild, it beats Tears of the Kingdom, it beats Witcher 3. Nothing is quite like the feeling I got when I first walked out this door when I played. This will stick with me forever.
Just look at it all. It's so green.
It's so beautiful. This is my Final Fantasy VII. You know what I mean? This is Gaia. This far surpasses anything I ever could have asked for.
Still going strong.
It may look that way, but in reality, it's barely hanging on.
So perceptive, Red.
Guess I still have a lot to learn.
What do you want to know?
For starters, how do we cross these plains?
Come on now, that's easy. The same way you get anywhere. Pick a direction and start walking.
Your left,
your left,
your left, right. What? It's like nobody's following me.
I guess we won't be coming back anytime soon.
Guess not.
Goodbye, City of Mako. City of Kalm. Okay, I feel like I've lost my path. Let's get back on the track. Oh, but yeah, it's... When you look at Kalm here, this looks so bloody good. And I love how jagged this is. You can see, like, a lot of... It's a very jagged land. It's not very even. We're going to get a lot of lore on this, where this is because of Titan.
Should we be worried about those things?
We're fine,
Nah, those aren't monsters.
because I've read the field guide. Like any good soldier, local wildlife will only attack while on the hunt or in defense of their territory. Fiends, on the other hand, attack without reason. Can't.
Thanks, Red. And this is really interesting because we start getting like the idea of monsters and naturally occurring beasts, right? Or creatures, right? Deer are naturally occurring Gaian beasts. Orcs are not. Orcs are a result of whatever's going on in the life stream, right? Or at least that's as best as I understand it. From what I understand, though, monsters are not natural in Gaia. So... that's interesting. Okay, priority. We gotta get Mandragora assessed. Mandragora, botanical creatures found in the grassy areas. Although capable of using their roots-like feet to move, they will plant themselves in soil to rest when tired. Exploiting their elemental weakness will pressure them. Inflicting enough damage will cause them to rest. Hitting them with powerful offensive abilities will interrupt their rest. Alright. The whole word to describe... Sorry, I should be looking at the camera. The whole word to describe this game, to me, is experiential. This game is experiential. It asks you to participate in its experience, and it gives you a seamless experience, which is... I don't know, man. It's unmatched. For me, like, I can just sit here and just look. Look at this world that they made. Look at Aerith. Look at the flowers. Look at the good boy Red. Also, there's some really cool structures they got going on here. Like, I wonder what this was utilized for. What's the purpose of this? The only thing I could think of is some sort of extension of a wall. A bridge, maybe? Except it's jagged. That would make a very good bridge. Certainly. Seems how we have to be over here anyways. This actually really helps us. Let's go see my boy Oliver, but first let's try and get as many of these materials as possible. Right, and because it's so bountiful, you'd expect to see farm life. So it makes perfect sense that not only would there be farm life, but a chocobo farm, which benefits off of chocobo feed, right? So there's a lot of contextual storytelling going on here, which makes what the original Final Fantasy VII did so much better, because they took the original concepts and got to, as I forget who said it. Is it Max? Max Dude? I think Max Dude said it's a 30-year cook. They've literally been marinating these ideas in their head for 30 years. They tried to express some of them in the compilation to mixed reception and mixed success, in my opinion. And this is the one that really brings all those ideas that they had together in a meaningful way, which is really, really something.
You'd be the Avalanche, folks?
We would be.
On your side. Heard you'd be heading my way. You're safe here, but not for long. By the sound of it, Shinra's leaving no stone unturned. Might want to hole up at the old dock out by the swamp. I'd wager Shinra's forgotten it's even there.
Well, brilliant. I really love this system because as you explore, it basically tells you what you need, or it gives you progress reports as you're exploring, right? By the time that a region, you can kind of tell when it's like, oh, I've explored this region for 4 hours, and this recipe requires materials I've never even seen. It's a good hint to move on. So I love it that it's like this alternative way of gauging your progression through the game, which I really enjoy. Honestly, I gotta say, picking up like this loop of picking up materials, listening to the music, and just looking around, oh man, it's addicting. And it helps that it's so fast to pick them up. It's like choo 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 choo, so it feels really snappy and good. I don't think I have.
Too bad.
Let's use an arrow. He's done. I wonder if one of Titan's attacks broke this? Maybe. The land doesn't really show that, though. All that much, to be completely honest. But that's what I like. It's a lot like Breath of the Wild in that way specifically, where a lot of the storytelling is told through the landmass itself, and the ruins, the inhabitants, the small bits of lore, those are your hints to piece together the true story of this world. Oh, it's my guy Billy.
If it ain't my favorite group of hitchhikers.
Oh.
If it ain't my favorite...
Thanks again for the ride to Kalm.
Truck driver.
Don't mention it. It's the least I could do for two such lovely young ladies. But I do believe I neglected to introduce myself. The name's Bill, and you can count on me for a lift anytime. Except today, that is. Afraid the old bute's pulled up lame. Sorry about that.
No biggie. We're enjoying the fresh air. Thanks, though.
You, know someplace we can hunker down?
Hunker down, you say? Oh? I'd almost forgotten what it was like to be young and in love.
Whoa, Bill.
That away toward the swamplands. You'll find an abandoned building by the dock. I guarantee no one will bother you there.
Do you know what we just learned, guys? We just learned that Bill goes to Wall Market. That's what we just learned. He's a Sonon. Yeah, I really love crafting systems and alchemy systems in games. I think one of the best alchemy systems I've ever played with, implemented in the worst way, is Dragon Quest VIII. Dragon Quest VIII has such a phenomenal crafting system. However, because it's so difficult to get so many of the materials from the enemies, it's nigh on useless, you know? So, that really sucks.
You're mine. Try this. You're done.
Nice. We mastered focus thrust. This crafting system is really, really easy and really useful. 16 had a sort of crafting system, but I felt it was... I don't know. it felt not much different than just going and buying weapons, you know? So it didn't feel good. Of course, you couldn't go and get a lot of those weapons from the stores, but it was warranted. You did it. You had to engage with it, but it didn't feel meaningful for some reason. And even with the DLC, I didn't see a whole lot of meaningful customization. So, on this hand, I found it extremely satisfying to stay in a region and cook, you know, multiple of the best wristbands, for example, and get everyone to grade 3. And it may not matter, but it was fun. So the crafting system encourages sticking around in the world longer, and the crafting system also encourages forward momentum and enjoyment. See? So I love it. It's really, really good. Look at this chunk of land. I love this soundtrack, honestly. Because it's just the perfect vibe. It's like, it's a swamp. It's not too bad. Birds are flying. Mines are mining.
No sign of Shinra.
Yeah. Looks like an old Republic landing.
Could borrow a boat, make our way across. Then, head on through the mines and keep going till we hit Junon.
Sure. Why not? You trust these rotting hulks?
I mean, we could.
Let's not.
Then maybe we swim it.
This swamp is home to the deadly Midgard Sormer. Beware.
But even if you're slow, you can rent a chocobo. We'll see you safely past being nothing if not fast.
Bars.
So just give Bill the word, and he'll pick you out. A bird.
Yo, Bill? He's a bit of a rapper. I like him. I like him.
Well, can we rent some birds?
Can we?
Fine.
No man has the strength to say no to those two. Not when it concerns renting a simple bird. Okay. So yeah, that's what I was saying. It's a scam. In my first playthrough, I did go and buy that bloody sleek saber, sold a whole bunch of stuff, got here, and realized, oh, I could just gotten it there. That sucks. Did we get any new materia? No. No. I definitely want that on. 13 can have the reclaimant. No, earrings work really well for her. Headband for you. Power wristbands for you. Yeah, we'll do Hunter's Bangle. The leather bangle's actually really not terrible. But let's make sure everyone has a weapon skill on. I'm thinking that the Unrelenting Punisher might help me do a whole bunch of damage. Especially if I'm building up damage to work up to the ability. So let's do that. I'm thinking that's the way. I'm not very good at activating counter spin. I'd like to be. It's a goal. I think the wind damage is really important. Yeah, you got wind materia perfect. I'm happy. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, that's not even a question. Not even a little bit. Such a great bloody thing. Slow transition to silence. Back into ahead on our way. Like, it's just so good. My favorite transition, the one that really knocked me out of the park the first time I played this game, was when you finally get into, like, this area, which we can go to if you want. What? Why say it? Why not experience it, eh? Oh, we're already at the Chocobo farm. I really wanted to fight more. I actually got to Bill's Chocobo Ranch last time. Awesome.
Pleasure to see y'all again. And welcome to my humble ranch.
This guy looks so bloody good. They
Managed to get your
nailed.
truck fixed?
They nailed the sprite work.
Indeed I did. You must have been my lucky charms. She started up right after you left. Now, ladies, you're probably wondering, what gives these birds the power to glide across swamps with ease? Would you believe that their fluffy feathers give them the buoyancy to float, while their limber legs can outrun a motorboat? Not even the dreaded Midgard Sormer, one of the fastest fiends around, can keep up with them.
Wow.
But you don't need convincing. You just need pointing to a hard-working chocobo. Nature's two-legged limousine.
That's us. Cloud Strife. Chocobo
You might
nice.
could talk to Billy over in the stables.
You might
He'll
could.
be happy to tell you all you need to know.
You might could. Nope, nothing. Alright, so, just a quick rundown about what I just did. I went onto IGN. IGN has an interactive map of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It's amazing. 100% worth it. What you can do with the IGN map is you can choose what markers you can do with it, and if you put them all quite right, what you'll find is all of the dig spots, all of the caches, and all of the chocobo stops, and nothing else. Everything else is really easy to find except for those. And a huge part of my enjoyment was finding all of those treasures. We'll see. Alright, let's talk to our boy Billy.
Saw the sign. Need some chocobos to cross the swamp.
Sorry, Pops, but you're out of luck.
Pops.
Got no more birds. Last one went this morning.
Could have fooled me, kid.
These are spoken for. That or they're not fit for riding. But I can see you're in a bind, so I'll bump you up the list. For a price, of course.
Which is?
Okay.
10 grand each. Is what a scoundrel might say. But I wouldn't dream of distressing y'all further. Just so happens one of our birds ran off the other day. Wild thing, but still a fine chocobo. If you can manage to find and catch him, then he's yours. Free of charge.
You sure?
Yeah, why not? Name's Pico. The hardest-headed bird you'll ever meet. By far. And he's the spitting image of Pops here. You can start by looking for his tracks. Find those, and you're sure to find the feet that made him. Now, wild chocobos can be a bit skittish around people. But if you play it cool and creep up real quiet-like, you'll wrangle them no problem.
I am Solid Snake.
Thanks.
We will succeed.
And one last thing. This info comes free of charge, provided you promise to stop by our shop. Speak to Chloe back there. She'll sell you whatever you need.
Kid's a born businessman.
If y'all can catch our runaway and get his butt back here, riding and rearing lessons are on me.
Well, that's so gracious. What makes this game so bloody phenomenal is how vibrant it is. Look at Chocobo Billy's hat, okay? Just for a moment, let's zoom in on his hat. Look at that sky blue. The sky blue with the bright yellow and the green scarf. My man is rocking 3 really vibrant colors. They're so vibrant, I've never seen this type of color in a Final Fantasy game, ever. This far outweighs the amount of color in the original FF7 OG. It's not even a question. You crazy thing is they couldn't have done this game better if they tried. Now, I'm sure there's lots of people who would disagree. I can't think of one thing. Keeping all the structure and all the bones of the open world, I can't think of anything I would change in this game. Because you could say, well, I don't want an open world, but that's not super helpful. I'm talking about changing within the actual confines of this open world type game. Because in my opinion, this being an open world game makes the most amount of sense. Being Final Fantasy VII Remake being a fairly linear Yakuza game makes a lot of sense.
All he thinks about is money. He's just doing his job. We understand. I suppose, but he's been a real pain about it ever since our parents left.
Beware. Beware the glitchy desk. It will haunt you in your dreams. Beware, Chloe.
Say, are you guys from Midgar? Yeah, the Undercity. Then do you happen to know Chocobo Sam? Not very well, but yeah, I guess we do. Where is he?
Probably the Sector 6 slums.
I'm super excited to see how this pays off. I remember I got to Cosmo Canyon, and Cosmo Canyon, you don't explore any region before you get to the town. You just enter straight into Cosmo Canyon. And I was playing, and by this point, I was full blow through the story at max speed mode. There was no question there. However, I do recall coming to the Chocobo Sage and noticing that Chocobo Billy was there. And that Chocobo Billy was there because he's looking for Chocobo Sam in order to take vengeance upon Chocobo Sam for his parents' life. That's fascinating. I'm also really interested to see what exactly they do with the Wall Market crew, right? And that's one thing I'm curious. I want to stop and talk at certain points in this game about where are character arcs going? What are they doing with some of this? Like, for example, Marl. Marl, very clearly to me, serves two purposes. She is the mentor mother figure of Tifa in Midgar, and she's the representative of the heart of Sector 7. Marl is the main one who kind of takes care of everyone who escapes in the Sector 7 falling plate. So I wouldn't be surprised if her arc, pardon me, I can't think. I wouldn't be surprised if her arc actually wrapped up as soon as you went to Midgar, and that her arc kind of wraps up with her giving Tifa the premium heart, or the premium gloves, whatever they're called. And Marl kind of saying, you go do what you do, we'll rebuild here. And actually, do you know what I think would be really, really cool? What if Marl has already conscripted the people of Sector 7 to rebuild 7th Heaven, so that when Tifa comes back, she can actually see 7th Heaven, right? She can see I forget what it's called in Advent Children, but she can see the rebuilt bar that Barrett and her talked about at the end of Chapter 15.
Why do you ask? I was thinking about reaching out. It's his fault Mom and Dad are gone, so...
Chloe, that's none of these good folks' business.
But they get help.
Don't tell anyone what she told you. Sam's one of the biggest names in the business. If he gets wind of that story, our ranch is done for.
Don't worry, your secret's safe with us. I promise. Oh, take these greens. You can give them to Pico when you find him. They were always his favorite treat, you see. Maybe he'll come back once he's had a taste. Right.
That's actually so sad. Like, Chocobo Billy does not look to be that old. I'm going to say he's probably between the ages of 16 and 20. Somewhere in there. I'm going to guess he's closer to the 16 than to the 20 end of things. But he knows exactly how this world works. Chloe, you're talking too much. We don't know who these people are. We don't know if we can trust them. And if Don Corneo finds out that we're talking bad about one of his 3 patrons, we will actually be destroyed. He will hurt our business. He'll hurt our family. He'll hurt our chocobos. Don't cross Don Corneo. It really adds on to the world building that they gave Don Corneo in Wall Market with how twisted he is.
Should probably sell you stuff, huh? Billy will throw a fit if I don't at least try to get you to spend a few gil. No pressure, but if anything catches your
The
eye...
haunted desk is back.
Also, if you have any golden plumes on you, I can exchange them for chocobo gear. So be sure to hand them over if you do.
Let's go.
All right, Biko. Where'd you run off to?
Biko.
Let's try looking for some tracks.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Yeah.
Man, Barrett's voice is actually kind of hard to hit. He has a really... His, like, old voice actor was in my... An Aureate Pinion. I've never gotten that item. A Glimmering Chocobo. Increases speed by 10. Fascinating. I don't know what speed exactly does, though. Party. Cloud. Let's look this up. Let's Google this, guys. Speed. The higher the value, the faster your ATB gauge charges. That's crazy. Tifa. My girl. We are going to give you this Aureate Pinion because your speed is of the utmost importance. Yes. Go, Cloud. Go. Now is the time. Claim him. Yeah. And now you are our bird, Pico. Yo, I hope we get to hear Hip Hop the Chocobo soon, to be completely honest. That's right, get him a Gisal.
Aw, isn't he just the cutest? You know, they are kind of similar. Totally.
What does he want now?
Do you think maybe he's still hungry?
Sorry, that's all the food we had.
But you know where there's more? Bill's place.
I'm there. Let's go.
Back to the ranch it is, then.
Back to the ranch. No. It's you. It's little cyborg boy. Little AI boy Chadley out in the big world, eh? Alright.
Hey there.
We'll see what you're about, Chadley.
What a pleasant surprise. You do remember me, don't you?
Mm-hmm. I actually loved him in Remake.
I knew
Chadley
you
was
would.
so good.
It was an absolute pleasure working with you in Midgar. Thank you again. Your invaluable intel allowed me to create so much materia. Detecting internal monologue. The hell's this weirdo doing here? I was created by Professor Hojo, you know. Though your thoughts could be read by any cyborg. But, to answer your question, I took a page out of your book and skipped town. Now, the whole world's my laboratory. Speaking of which, I have a favor to ask, if it's not too much trouble.
You need more battle intel.
That's the Cloud I know. Always eager to get on with it. But yes, though, I'd like you to activate some Remna Wave towers first. They were originally constructed by the Republic of Junon, but were claimed by Shinra after the war.
That makes
Since
sense.
which time they've sat idle and untouched, just waiting for someone to put them to good use. The more towers you activate around the world, the more my processing power will grow. As will the area I can survey. I might even be able to construct a communications network independent of Shinra. How does that sound? You'd not only be helping me, but yourselves as well.
Okay, so I have a theory. The theory is that this network that we're building through the Remna Wave towers and then the Remna Wave towers and all of the world intel is the network which will be utilized in Dirge of Cerberus. I think it was called the DDS, the Digital I don't know, something to that effect, but whatever it was called, the internet network will be utilized in part 3 as a means of connecting the world, right? And so I think this is going to be part of the quest to rebuild the Republic of Junon as Shinra is losing its influence throughout the world, right? As weapons are emerging, as we're rebuilding the old Gaia. Because I really do think that's going to be a huge part of part 3 is taking the world that we already have and then rebuilding it in a new form with a new reason, right? One which does not need a superpower like Shinra to rule over everybody. So my theory with what we're doing in this game is that we're essentially creating the network, which is going to be utilized as a means for rebuilding the Republic of Junon. But in the Midgar section is going to be overtaken by Hojo, who will then upload his digital mind into the wave just like he did in Dirge of Cerberus. And that moment when he takes over the network will be on the tower, right? When we're going up, when Meteor's about to hit. Then, as he gains power from the internet, that's when he will transform himself into the likeness of Vice. And this is where I think we could see Nero come into play. Who gets to kill Hojo? That's going to be a really interesting thing. And I wonder if Nero and Vincent together kill him. Now, I could be totally wrong, because we know that Hojo eventually turns into Proud Claude and all that stuff, right? So I'm assuming that will still be in part 3. I just assume that they're going to add something extra there, that there's going to be something else mapped on top of that. So that'll be really cool to see.
If we find any, we'll turn them on.
Wonderful. I thought you might say something like that. Let's get started then. See that tower? That's your first target. And this will activate it.
Obtain
As the tower's
the
close
Chad
by,
module.
allow me to accompany you.
I am the Chad module. I really like this guitar song.
Here we are.
All right, chat. Are you ready? Shall we insert the Chad module in? Let's do it. Go, Cloud. Insert your module. Ooh, look at that. I love the visual representation of the canopy of information going out.
Tower activation confirmed.
Woohoo!
Initiating preliminary scan of the grasslands. I'll ascertain the locations of fiends and natural resources.
Yeah, remnant wave towers.
These communications towers were built by the Republic of Junon in order to further their understanding of the planet. They scan for all manner of signals, which in turn reveal myriad locations of interest, such as...
Sorry for pausing. That's actually another interesting thing. We know that Shinra is incredibly technologically advanced, that they have weapons and gadgets which could make the actual lives of the inhabitants of Gaia so much bloody easier. One of the examples is the signal strengthener in Nibelheim. Whenever Shinra comes into Nibelheim, there's this radio wave enhancer, which all of a sudden makes all of their telephones and all of their communication stuff work far better than it does when they're not around. Well, if Shinra cared less about military operations and more about building infrastructure, that would be a part of Nibelheim. That would be part of their building in the mansion, is to increase the goodness or the quality of people's lives. On the other hand, we see the total opposite. Shinra takes the gadgets, hoards it, makes it impossible for the common person to get, and then utilizes that very technology to gain supremacy and to hope for control, right?
Here's where we get our birds in shape for the races.
What races?
The gold saucers, I mean. They're a big deal in our community. Won't find a ranch around here that doesn't compete.
So you guys race too?
We've been sitting it out since Mom and Dad left. But we're gonna get back in the fight soon and kick the tar out of one particularly nasty weasel. But never you mind all that. You just focus on the basics, like making sure you don't get thrown from the saddle.
All
Why
right.
don't you try hopping on Pico and giving me a holler?
Peaks. Let's go, mate. Perfect. It's a little hard to judge exactly where you need to touch them. Good. Awesome. Just barely touched that one. Okay, we're making good time.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Ooh, and we just barely missed the rank 1.
That was something else. You and Pico are a perfect match. Might even have what it takes to win a race or two at the Gold Saucer.
We can't thank you enough, Billy.
Oh, that reminds me. Y'all mentioned you're flat broke, right? Then you might want to swing by Kalm again. Now that the troopers have cleared out, it's probably safe for you to ask around for work. Though, don't run off just yet. My sister's looking for help. Not sure what the trouble is. Didn't want to confide in me for whatever reason. Honestly, she hasn't been herself since Mom left. They did dang near everything together.
You want to lend Chloe a hand?
Since Mom left.
We need to move on.
True, but moving on costs money.
So their parents aren't dead, necessarily.
We had fun helping people in Sector 5, right? Same deal.
That's so bloody cool that they call back to the side quests of Remake. Cool. All right, let's get our first side quest. Are you guys excited for this? I know I sure am.
Oh, hey, you're back.
I'm back.
I heard you might need some help.
What's up, Chloe?
You did? Oh, I see. Billy talked to you, didn't he?
Yep.
I've been meaning to go pick flowers, but the plains are way too dangerous for that. I'm sorry to hear that. As a flower lover myself, I sympathize. Well, the thing is, I want to make a flower crown. Mom used to make them for us all the time. So I wanted to give it a try, but with all the monsters, I didn't know how I could. Here's an idea. Maybe we could do the picking for you? Sure. Cloud, thoughts?
Yeah, what happened to your parents?
Truth is, our parents died in an accident when I was really little. Billy doesn't like to talk about it. Sorry. We used to go on these family picnics. And after we were done eating, Mom would make flower crowns for me and Billy. I'd wear mine for days.
That's really cute. How do you know Sam?
I shouldn't tell you this, but he's the reason Mom and Dad died. That's what Billy says. I don't know. He always changes the subject when I ask.
Alright.
Really?
We'll do
You
it.
will? The flowers
Yeah,
grow on a
just
hill
for
that's
you.
got a great view of Midgar. It's kinda far, but a chocobo will get you there quick. Thank you so much.
I swear, this girl's sweet. Trying to help out her brother, trying to help her parents, trying to help out her grandpa. They're hardworking people. So as you can see here, we've actually strayed outside of the cache area, so just over here, the chests will disappear. Gone. All gone. All that much. Ah! I see you, chest. And perfect, just like that. Oh, hello, small chicken. Lead me, small chicken. Where are your treasures? Guys, want to see the biggest awesome thing? I can't speak today. If you hold triangle, your chocobo can... Everything that you can do, your chocobo can do. Gosh, it's amazing. It makes exploring this game so much more fun. Like, oh my gosh. You're such a good chicken. You're such a good chicken. Nice. We got some mellow oak. We got some timber. Not about that. Ah, hello, rabbits. Monsieur Bunny. Nice. We got them beast bones, eh? We got them beast bones! And hopefully, if we're really lucky, like really, really lucky, we may actually get Dirge of Cerberus remake. I would... Oh, man. I would die for a Dirge of Cerberus remake. I love Dirge of Cerberus. I used to despise it as a kid, and then I noticed something. The game's actually not bad. I was told it was bad, but after playing it, it's really not bad. Certainly there's some stuff that needs to be fixed. One huge thing I'd say needs to be fixed is chapter select. If you could select your chapter and redo certain chapters to gain levels, it would be a phenomenal game. Also, if they took the combat system that they're going to use from Rebirth, for whatever the third game's going to be called, and put it as an action-style combat into Dirge of Cerberus, that would also be really, really well done. Because I feel like the manual combat in Dirge of Cerberus is awful. However, the actual shooting mechanics are pretty good. It's a pretty good shooter. The Galleon Beast is cool. You don't need to make many changes to the Galleon Beast. Honestly, you just need a graphics overhaul and the modern voice acting, and that would automatically bump that game up, especially with the modern controls, or the control stick of like a PS5 shooter or an Xbox shooter, over and above a PS2 analog stick.
Hey, glad to see Shinra hasn't got you yet.
We'll talk
Seeing
about this
as you're
afterwards.
here, mind help me with something? I'm Oliver, by the way, owner of this farm. Got fiend trouble. Every night it comes after my livestock. At least I assume a fiend's to blame. Think you could find and deal with it?
What do you know about
it? Not much, save the bastard's smart as hell. Managed to evade every trap I've set. Even hired a hunter to get rid of it, but that was a bust.
How do you know Broden?
The ecosystem here is something special. Worth protecting. Don't want Shinra messing it up. And I'm not afraid to say so out loud. One day, some like-minded folks came around. They put me in touch with Broden and Avalanche. Impressive the way that committee's able to connect people.
I want to know more about Broden, because Broden seems to be added. Broden seems to be added to this game as a plot device. As far as I know, Broden's not in any of the other supplementary material of Final Fantasy VII. He's a totally original character for Rebirth. So that'll be interesting.
I don't, but he might.
Who's a good boy? It's you.
It's okay, puppy.
Something tells me he's not all bark.
I'm just mocking Red. My dog did not like that sound.
The fiend's scent.
Perfect. Perfect. That took a whole bunch of MP, my goodness. 8 MP for a cure is actually kind of crazy. Alright guys, we've got 10 minutes left of the stream. Let's just plow through. Let's see how much we can do. Got some rare items up here. I'm happy with that.
Look at
What
that!
you got to say?
You've stumbled upon a life spring. Why don't you try scanning it? See what you uncover. Accessing the planet's figurative database should help us learn about the area.
I love this song. Lifespring Crystal on here. Chadley. Ah, here we go. This humble town serves as a transport hub for the grasslands. Hence the distinctive Bailey built for the monitoring of commercial and private traffic. During the war with the Republic of Junon, Shinra saw fit to occupy Kalm, due to its stout fortifications and strategic value, and it has remained under company control ever since. Okay, so it's looking like right here-ish. And we can just warp right on back. On Choco back. Whoop. I smell him. The treasure. Dude, this makes me want to play 13 so bad. I miss Final Fantasy 13. I wonder if 13, the whole 13 trilogy, might be a good idea to stream next. I bloody love those games. And as somebody who hated them for a long time, or maybe not hated them, that's a strong term, but was very disappointed that this was the direction of Final Fantasy going forward, I've now come to completely adore them. They're wonderful games in their own right. And feel like almost a reboot to the traditional idea of what it means to be a Final Fantasy game. Because it's this crazy thing where it's like Final Fantasy 13 in a lot of ways feels like the culmination of all the different styles that we got in 7, 9, and 10. Right? Mixed in with a lot of the political elements from 12. Now, the issue where they lacked is, in my opinion, they ended up emphasizing they ended up emphasizing theme over gameplay. And one of the ways that they did this is by disallowing a hub area for people to explore. I would have done 1 to 2 side quest hubs in Final Fantasy 13, perhaps Bodum, right, where Hope's dad is. I would have done some sort of disguise, like we're disguised Lycian, so you're able to walk around. And I also would have had a better crafting system in which, instead of dropping useless items, which are simply meant to build multipliers, I would have done this style of loot, where ogres drop beast bones, and your beast bone can be utilized for this much experience and can be used to bring this tier up, right? To me, that would have been more effective. And that's where I think they nailed this game so well, because they took a lot of what worked in 13, such as the pressure systems, such as the cinematic battles, such as the high resolution cutscenes, such as the focus on story and theme, and took it to a level that was just did not exist in any Final Fantasy prior. Which is why Rebirth is the best game that's ever existed. And I mean that, like, not as a moment-to-moment everything's perfect, but in overall, the technical quality of this game, the joy that this game brings me, the quality of the combat, the quality of the cutscenes, the quality of everything is phenomenal. Like, it's unmatched. It's completely unparalleled. Did I already get this treasure? watch, there's probably one of those moments where I literally just got it on screen and you were all worried that I have Alzheimer's now because I just wasn't paying enough attention. That's hard. My map is not being super useful at the moment. Okay, so we have a fork in the road. We could come up this way and do our first phenomenal intel, or we can continue down this way. I'm thinking it might be wiser to go do the region intel and the tower. Oh, no. Just the region intel. Ooh, you guys want to say mine?
Hey, Cloud.
Oh,
do you
Chadley.
notice any sparkling minerals nearby? These are known as guide stones, crystals that direct travelers to shrines to the divine. The stones emit light when they shatter, producing an illuminated path. If ever you're lost, try smashing one. Following the light should lead you to a sanctuary set to honor the tutelary deity of a given region. The shrines contain untold divine knowledge, slumbering within massive crystals. I can use this knowledge to strengthen your summoning materia, so I encourage you to seek out said sanctuaries.
Okay, so the sanctuary. So sanctuary automatically evokes the idea of some sort of temple, right? Or some sort of dwelling for the deity. At least going back to like ancient Near Eastern conceptions of a sanctuary. What's really interesting about that, so Titan is the tutelary deity of this region, right? Hence why it's such a rocky, jagged world. Yeah, let's smash it. Let's see where it goes.
The grasslands are home to Titan's sanctuaries. In the Age of Myths, when Titan rose from his subterranean prison, he created a massive earthquake. Thus did
His subterranean prison. Why was Titan sealed under the earth? At least in lore. What lore reason are they going with for this? Like, was there a war of the gods previously? Was there a transgression? Like, that's really interesting. The only other being that I can think of that was sealed that way is Genova. So.
vast swath of land rise from the sea, becoming the grasslands.
When Titan's just Maui. Or, I killed an eel, planted its guts. Planted a tree, now you got coconuts. What's the message? What is the takeaway? Don't mess with Maui when he's on the breakaway. I was thinking about this. Part of the religious experience is to become one with the divine, or to become one with that ascent to not only the highest deity, but the highest level of good for you and your community, right? And so these challenges are really interesting because it's literally Cloud attuning himself to the energies of this divine god, so to speak, right? And in resonating, in synchronizing, we see in resonating, it's like Cloud is resonating or synchronizing with this being to take on its power and walk forward in partnership with it. So just from a gameplay perspective, I thought that was really interesting.
This caliber before. To think the secrets of the divine dwell within.
Dia form is such an interesting term too, like the form of a god. Because what does that even mean, Dia form? What is the form of a god? Right? And in this case, I think Final Fantasy VII is simply using the term god loosely, as in any powerful being which is summoned through the will of the life stream and the wielder of the materia. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close enough. beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That's another thing I want to talk about. The chocobos in this game work to the benefit of it in such a phenomenal way. Because one, an integral part of world intel and world exploration is finding the chocobo for each region. Each chocobo in each region is completely unique, has their own backstory, has their own name, has their own sort of personality, as well as their own traversal ability, which not only makes each chocobo feel really, really special and really, really integral to the story, it also makes chocobos as an entity feel like an identifying factor of Final Fantasy VII, right? And that's so bloody cool, because chocobos are at the heart of what Final Fantasy VII was, because of the chocobo breeding side quest, because of the chocobo racing side quest. So the fact that they've done this here gives me so much confidence for what they will do in Part 3 when we will actually get chocobo breeding. Because there's no way that we're not going to get a whole globe-spanning chocobo breeding quest. I think there's no way that that's not happening. Everything seems to have been set up for it. The chocobo stables, the chocobo armor, the chocobo racing, the way that the stats work. Everything seems to be building up to the Highwind being the hub, which will allow us to breed our chocobos to create different variants of chocobo. Yeah, sorry. So the chocobos, at least all the different chocobos that you could get... Okay, no. So, theoretically, these could be special birds which are just developed in this area and are one-offs, and that because they're no longer available to us, we could have to breed specific chocobos to go find or to go climb that wall. In fact, I would say that utilizing the chocobos to build the world map of Gaia as a sort of Metroidvania is brilliant. Because I thought that's what they were going to do with this game, which they totally didn't. This game is not a Metroidvania at all, right? It doesn't have that Zelda level of, oh, what's that climbing track on the wall? And then, oh, I wonder if I can do something with that. And then later on, you get your mountain chocobo and you go, bing! I can go back to Junon and climb that wall, right? So I think instead of each region introducing to you, I think each region introducing a chocobo is going to go away, and that each region is going to have multiple chocobo skill points, multiple points where you're going to utilize the chocobo's skill in order to climb. I think that's inevitable, to be completely honest. I need to give one more commendation. Both 16 and 7 Rebirth nail chocobos, or nail the act of calling your chocobo and easily mounting them, right? In past games, it's not been cumbersome, that's not the right word, but it's been just the extra steps that it needed to be. It's so nice to just be walking, press R1, and he scoops me.
It may not be in plain sight, but I trust you'll be able to find it.
It's been so long, boys. What's good? It's been since the Sector 6, what's it called? The underpass? The Sector 6 underpass?
Wouldn't you like to know? I mean, I would too, and it looks like crap. But it's definitely pulsing with a ridiculous amount of power.
Once we flip it, we'll be swimming in lakes of gil.
I love how Burke is using the nail bat that we got to use in Midgar. Hand it over.
Hold on.
Now.
You're after our treasure?
Well, sucks to be you. We found it.
Yeah, we're the only ones who can appreciate it.
Hand it over. Now.
Ha! You really think that's enough to intimidate the likes of... No, please, it's all yours. Don't hurt us again. Play dead! Play dead! Would you all quit freaking out? Now listen here, numbnuts. I got a foolproof...
I love that Beck is basically just like trying to keep control of his 4 remaining brain cells.
Plan. I call it... Use a decoy!
Decoy means
so, who's the decoy? All of you, that's who! I always wanted to be a decoy! Wait. Gentlemen, it has been an honor. If you survive, meet back in the hideout!
Damn it! Decoy's attack!
It's on now.
Oh, that was not a good start.
No, that'll do. Gotcha.
Do I have Assess leveled up? I hope I do. Assess. Dang, I do not. Okay, we'll just start doing it one by one. Okay, so who, let's do Bert next then. Oh, that's so bloody nice.
Here we go. That's it. Get ready.
Ah, darn it.
This ends here. I got this. Gotcha. Come on. Big burst. Gotcha. Go for it.
Go for it. My turn.
Nice. There we go. Yeah, sidewinder him. Beautiful. I love it. Tastes marvelous.
My readings indicate the proto-relic is on the move. Would you mind updating me on the situation?
Bandits beat us to it.
Oh? I see. Fortunately, I've already ascertained the proto-relic's destination. Would you mind heading there?
We're on our way.